students, how are you? I hope all of you are good during this lockdown. Okay, in the previous video of Standard 6 Science, I had explained about the natural fiber, cotton and jute, how they are being obtained, and after that process of obtaining cotton, in which soil it has grown and which weather is comfortable for growing jute and cotton. In this video, we are going to discuss about spinning cotton yarn. In the previous video also, I have described about it. The process of making yarn from fibers is called spinning. The process of making yarn from the fibers is called spinning. So remember how the fiber is made from yarn, and how this yarn is especially helping to make fabric. So the process of making yarn from fibers, what are the fibers? The cotton, jute, these are the fibers. So the process of making yarn from fibers is called spinning. Now let's come to the topic of yarn to fabric. How this yarn converts into the fabric. There are mainly two processes, that is weaving and knitting. Weaving, the process of arranging two sets of yarns together to make a fabric, is called weaving. And knitting is done by hand or machine also. First of all, you should know about that what is weaving or what is knitting. First of all, if you want to write these notes in your notebook, then you can write. Otherwise, you can first listen what I want to say. Each and everyone is having their NCERT textbook. So please open your NCERT textbook, page number 21. I hope everybody had opened their page number 21. So, first of all, let me explain you about the spinning cotton yarn. In the activity 4, hold some cotton wool in one hand, pinch some cotton between the thumb and forefinger of the other hand. Now, gently start pulling out the cotton while continuously twisting the fibers. Are you able to make a yarn? So the process of making yarn from fiber is called spinning. Means what? First of all, you have to take a cotton. After taking the cotton, what you have to do? You have to hold in one hand, and from another hand, you have to just pull it. So you will see just thread-like structure is being obtained. So the process of making yarn from the fibers is called spinning. In this process, fibers from a mass of cotton wool are drawn out and twisted. This brings the fibers together to form a yarn. A simple device which is used for spinning in a hand spindle, also called tuckle. Another hand operated device is used to spinning is charkha. The uses of charkha was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi as part of the independence movement. He encouraged people to wear clothes made of homespun yarn and shun imported cloth made in the mills of Britain. Spinning of yarn on a large scale is done with the help of spinning machines. After spinning, yarns are used for making fabrics. As yesterday's video, means previous video, I had informed you how the yarns are made by the process called spinning, and the instrument or the tools which are used to make were tuckle or charkha. Charkha was popularized during the Indian movement. So Gandhiji had informed all the Indians to wear their homespun yarns. Now let's come to the topic of yarn to fabric. There are many ways by which the fabrics are made from yarns. The two main processes are weaving and knitting. There are really so many processes or so many ways by which the fabrics are made from the yarns. But the main two processes are weaving and knitting. So after getting a knowledge of weaving and knitting, what I want to say you is, what is weaving? We have noticed that fabric is made up of two sets of yarns, right? Fabric is made up of two sets of yarns together. The process of arranging two sets of yarns together to make a fabric is called weaving. In this process, what we have to do, we have to take two yarns, one horizontally, another vertically. Similarly, when you are putting lot of yarns into the horizontally and lot of yarns into the vertically, one up, another down, one up, another down, one up, another down. So that these two sets, horizontally and vertically yarns arranged together, and the process of arranging these two set of yarns together to make a fabric is called weaving. Let us try to weave some paper strip. What you have to take? You have to just take two pages. In that two page, you have to make the strips of paper. Now put the paper horizontally and vertically. Means first of all, you have to take one page, take two page, cut horizontally, another cut vertically. Means one long side, another broad side. And after that, first put down side, means long side one put down and the short side one put up. Now what you have to do, the long side you have to put up, now the short side you have to put the second down. Again third up, fourth down, fifth up, sixth down. So in this activity what they are going to do, take two sheets of paper of different colors, cut square piece of length and width equal to 30 centimeter from each sheet. Now fold both the sheets into the half. On one sheet, draw lines as shown in your textbook, figure 3.12. And on the other, as shown in figure 3.12, cut both the sheets along the dotted lines and then unfold. Weave the strips one by one through the cuts in the sheets of paper. As you can see, it is also represented in your NCERT textbook Science, page number 22, figure 3.12, C and D. Shows the pattern after weaving all the strips. Now you can see in the figure A, B, C and D. What they have taken two colors of paper, one color green, another color red. So after then you can see they have just arranged, it's looking so beautiful. So in this way you can do this activity at your home also. What you have to take, you have to take two colors paper. If you are not having two colors paper, then do coloring on one paper and one paper leave it. So there will be one white color and one the coloring paper as you have colored. After coloring the paper, now cut means 30 centimeter, whatever the length of the paper is there, cut horizontally and another cut vertically. So now what you have to do, you have to weave these paper strips. As you weave the paper strips, so you will get just like figure C and D as it is represented in your textbook. In a similar manner, two sets of yarns are woven to make a fabric. The yarns are much thinner than our paper strips. Of course, weaving of fabric is done on looms. The looms are either hand operated or power operated. Knitting, that was the process of weaving. Let's come now on knitting. Have you noticed that sweaters are knitted? In knitting, a single yarn is used to make a piece of fabric. Have you ever pulled the yarn from the torn pair of socks? What happens? Single yarn gets pulled out continuously as the fabric gets unraveled. Socks and many other clothing items are made of knitted fabrics. Knitting is done by hand and also on machines. What I want to say, knitting is a process by which only one yarn can make that fabric or fiber or fabric. What I want to say, have you ever seen your sweater, handmade sweater, or the socks which you are buying from the markets? Take that socks and just remove one fiber. You will see whole socks is being removed. So this is because of knitting. Knitting can be done by hand or machine. Weaving and knitting are used for making different kinds of fabric. These fabrics are used for a variety of clothing items. Now, the new topic, page number 23, that is history of clothing material. Can you tell me how and who was the first person who had wore the cloth? Have you ever wondered that what material people used in ancient time for clothes? It appears that in those times used the bark and big leaves of trees of animal skin and furs to cover them. So see, at that time also the people were having shame. They has to cover their body from the protections of winter, summer and rainy season. So at that time there were no fiber. So what they were doing, they were using the barks of the tree, or they were using the skin of animals, or they were using big leaves. After the people began to settle in agriculture communities, they learned to weave twigs and grass into the mats and basket. Vines, animal fleece, or hair were twisted together into the long strands. These were woven into the fabrics. The early Indian wore fabrics made out of cotton that grew into the region near the river Ganga. Flax is also a part that gives natural fibers in ancient Egypt. Cotton as well as flax were cultivated near the river Nile and were used for making fabric. See, in the olden times, the people were not having so much sense. So that time they were taking the grass as in the form of fabric, and they were making mat to sit down. As they have done the same process with the fleece of a sheep, they now started making some of the clothes or some of the mat materials or some of the carpets. They started making with their hands. In those days, stitching was not known. They don't know how to stitch. They were not having stitching machine. People simply draped the fabrics around the different parts of their body. Many different ways of draping fabrics were used. With the invention of sewing machine or sewing needle, people started stitching fabrics to make clothes. Stitched clothes have gone through many variants since the invention. But it is not amazing that even today, sari, dhoti, lungi, or turban is used as an unstitched piece of fabric. Just as there is a large variety in the food eaten all over our country, a large variety exists also in fabrics and clothing items. See, first of all, what I want to say is, in all over the India or world, nowadays so many types of clothes are there, like synthetic, nylon, silk, cotton, etc. But in the olden days, the people which were making the few format as it is given in your textbook also, lungi, sari, dhoti, these were the few forms. You will see without stitching, these fibers we are wearing. That's why our Indian, especially if you ask, the dress was dhoti and kurta. This dhoti was unstitched. You will see right now also many of the priests are wearing this dhoti. When you visit to a temple, the priest which is praying to the god of the temple, they wear dhoti. So you will see the dhoti is without the stitching cloth. If they are not being stitched, then remember that how was that used and who had invented dhoti. Same at the river of basins of the Ganga or Nile river, the peoples were doing the same activity and they invented so many types of clothes. And right now also in the modern days, we are wearing different types of clothes. But if I talk about nowadays, about the shirt, pants, and many more uniforms, whatever we are wearing. So that time we understand really, this uniforms looks very decent or very modern. So that time we have to understand that how these clothes were invented, who had invented these clothes, how this fabric came. In the olden days, each and everything had happened. So this was our chapter number 3, class 6, science, fibers to fabric. First of all, read your chapter. As I have explained you the chapter, just focus at your textbook, read this, and whatever the questions I am giving you in homework, please try to solve that question. If you are having any type of doubt during solving these questions, please drop your doubt into the comment box section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Your friends can also learn something if they are studying in either any other school or our school also. Not an issue. You can share this video to anyone so they can also enjoy their education. That's all for today. Thank you. Thanks for watching.